Hello and welcome to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas, as we're here for the NCAA Super Regional between McMurry and Trinity. Hello everybody, I'm Cole Isaacson, joined alongside Reed Rosales. And Reed, the first ever Super Regional hosted here in San Antonio. What a pleasure to bring it to all of you.
Yeah, first Super Regional in San Antonio, first all-SCAC Super Regional ever. It's going to be a very exciting game, Cole. Both sides wanting to punch their ticket to East Lake, Ohio, where the World Series is. I think we're going to have some good baseball being played.
Two different stories coming into this game. We have Trinity on one hand, who's been here in 2022 very, very recently. And McMurry, on the other hand, they were partying like it's 1998 when they won a playoff game. Now they're partying like never before as they're here for the very first time in program history.
Both sides, it's just going to be a fight, Cole. I think everyone knows it. McMurry, I mean, they've been on fire lately. They're a team that went into a regional not expecting to make it out. They weren't the ones that people predicted, and they did. Tigers, like you said, kind of opposite way. We'll see how this game goes. It's two teams that are very familiar with each other. They played each other, I think, every year since I've been here. A little before that as well.
Two very unpredictable seasons. Two teams that were expected to be in the top four of the SCAC and make the conference tournament, as both of them ended up doing. But in pretty different ways. McMurry, as we highlighted earlier, haven't had a lot of success in their program history. They've only won one NCAA playoff game before this year. This, their most successful season in program history. Trinity, on the other hand, 31 of 61 rostered players that were not on the team last year. A lot of uncertainty for this Tigers program. Yet both of these squads here in the Super Regional. The coaches are done meeting. They'll head back to their dugouts. Umpires giving each other some fist bumps. Good luck. Hopefully a good game with a four-man crew as the Tigers will now take the field. We'll begin with McMurray's starting nine. And here they are, Coy Carpenter leading off in center field, followed by Ty Nelson at second. Riley Hood, the transfer student, at third base, followed by Colin Bruning at first. Michael Smosna, the SCAC Player of the Year catcher, hitting fifth. Nolan Schrenzel at DH. Beckham Paul, another first year in right. Blake Beach, the shortstop, and then Xavier Escobar in left. And on the mound for the Tigers, it will be the first year Jake Beck, starting game one for Trinity in this best of three.
Jake Beck, he's a young kid who's kind of been put in this position time and time again, Cole. He is starting, not very expected to go more than 5 innings usually just out there to give a very strong open for the Tigers. If he has a lot of success, then Trinity will be very happy with that. But the more likely outcome is that he'll hand the baton to somebody else. He's got some nasty stuff. He picked up several strikeouts last time he pitched against McMurry in the regular season series. He's had a lot of success in his very young career so far.
You see the numbers for Beck on your screen, a 3.89 ERA, 1-1 record on the season. Beck, one of many first-year Trinity pitchers that have shown up in a big way. His last start, 4.2 innings pitched against Huntingdon. 3 strikeouts, a walk, only 2 earned runs allowed in a 20-2 victory to get the postseason party started for the Tigers. He's warming up, and he'll be set to face Coy Carpenter. Warm-ups are finished. We're about ready to go. The wind blowing as it usually does here on the campus of Trinity University, this time out to left field. The crowd ready to go. It's a pretty good one considering the temperatures are in the mid-90s. First pitch as scheduled at 7 o'clock. Coy Carpenter will step into the batter's box. Jake Beck ready to go, and so are we. Game one in San Antonio starts with a strike. Or that pitch outside, ball one. Carpenter getting ahead. This lineup pretty standard for McMurry. The 1-1. Now it is.
Coy Carpenter, a very dangerous bat to start things off for the Warhawks. He's so patient. He kills you with the speed on the base paths.
The 1-1 pitch, high, 2-1. Carpenter, a .252 hitter on the year. And you talked about the speed, 15 stolen bases. He's only been caught once. Dangerous threat for McMurry in that leadoff position. Pitch misses, a good take from Carpenter. Count now 3-1. It's a McMurray offense that struggled to score in their series here earlier in the year in San Antonio. Held to 2 runs in game 1 of that series. Pitch called a strike, a delayed call by the home plate umpire, so Carpenter gets the bad news. He has to head back for a full count.
This is what we're going to see a lot of, Cole. I think some very long at-bats and plate appearances from the Warhawks.
The 3-2. Outside, that's ball 4. Carpenter flips the bat and heads to first with a leadoff walk.
Yeah, it's just well worked by Carpenter. It is McMurray's greatest strategy. Stay patient. If you get put in a bad spot, foul everything off. Make the pitcher beat. A lot of times, they don't get beat. They don't get beat.
Number 2 hitter, the second baseman, Ty Nelson, now up. Drops down the bunt, and it's a good one. Tinker has to barehand it, throws to first in time. And they get the leadoff runner, so the sacrifice complete. Runner now on second.
Something McMurray does a lot, Cole. They have been very great with the bunt this year. A bit unfortunate on that play as the runner, Nelson, kind of tripped after he dropped the punt, so he was out by a mile, but he did his job.
Now getting into the meat of this McMurray order, it's Riley Hood, the third baseman. Hood, a 401 hitter on the year, slaps it foul towards his own dugout. McMurray housed on the first base side here at the ballpark. Trinity on the third base side, and that is the shady side, so it could be an advantage today. Hood works with a runner on second, trying to get his team up 1-0 in game 1. Takes a pitch away at 90. Count even at 1-1.
One of these guys on this McMurray squad. He's played Trinity multiple times in his career. He's had some very good success as well.
Slap the other way into the screen and foul. Beck now the advantage count, 1-2. One-two pitch to Hood. Breaking ball misses in the dirt. Lazara able to get on top of it. Count evens at 2 apiece. Carpenter waiting on second. For those of you just joining us, he reached with a leadoff walk, was advanced to second on a sacrifice bunt. Now Hood trying to drive him in a 2-2 situation. Other way again into the screen, but further, more on a line. Count will remain at 2-2, and that's something that we talked to this Tigers coaching staff. They noticed in film from McMurray. They love to hit the ball the other way. You're seeing that a lot in this at-bat.
Yeah, and it's that tenacity that makes them such a dangerous team, Cole. Why their batting average is so high.
Ground ball, Lustina fields it at second, throw to first in time, and 2 away in this inning. Runner does advance to third.
This will be a big moment for Beck early to strand that runner at third base. It's a routine play for Lustina, you see on the playback. But he does his job again, just advance the runner and pass the baton to another dangerous hitter.
Freshman of the year in the SCAC, Colin Bruning now up to the plate. Bruning, a .386 hitter on the air, takes ball 1 outside. There's a lot of talk coming into the year about the transfers that McMurray was able to reel in, but it's been these first years, Bruning and Paul, who we'll see later, that have been the real difference in their success this year. Pitch misses low, count 2-0.
Yeah, he's been very impressive in his first year, Bruning. He definitely earned the award. He's hitting like a madman, and everybody on this Tiger pitching staff has to be aware of him.
2-0 count. Hit in the air, down the line and right, but foul into the McMurray bullpen. Could have been dangerous.
That's that power, that contact that he gets off the ball. He gets that into a gap, it's going to do a lot of damage. Just look at the speed off the bat of that ball.
I don't think we track exit velocity at the Division III level, but that would have been up there for sure. 2-1 pitch. Strike called. Inside edge, 2-2. Beck battling back. Allowed the leadoff walk, trying to get out of this first inning unscathed. Foul ball this time to the Trinity dugout. Count remains at 2-2 with 2 down in the inning.
We're going to see a lot of these big moments, I think, Cole. Runner on third, freshman player of the year up at the plate. A lot of first and second teamers and honorable mentions on this McMurry squad.
2-2. Ground ball, did it stay fair? No. Ended up in fair territory, but the call made from the home plate umpire that it was foul.
Yeah, he fouled it off himself, so blew the ball dead.
So back-to-back foul balls and a 2-2 count. Beck trying to finish the job. In the dirt, and it runs full. Only one base runner for McMurry in this inning, but these at-bats have dragged on and on. A long inning for Beck. The 3-2. Fouled off again. We'll do it again.
I know it's only the first inning, but there's already a bit of tension on the field.
Bruning, the cleanup hitter. Catcher Smosna waiting on deck as it does not get easier after him. Carpenter, the runner on third. That's strike 3. Beck gets him with a fastball looking, and that ends the inning. McMurry does nothing with the leadoff walk, and Trinity will be up to bat when we come back. Still 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Welcome back to the Super Regional in San Antonio, Texas. 0-0 between McMurry and Trinity, and you see the home team, the Trinity Tigers, and their lineup on the screen. Caleb Woodward will lead things off from center field. Maddox McDonald in right. Nicholas Lazara doing the catching and hitting third. Nick Jones out in left. Will Baker at first. Brandon Nelson, the DH, hitting sixth. Kai Tinker at third, hitting seventh. Michael Lustina and John Ramsey to round things out. So Woodward will lead things off against McMurray's best starting pitcher this season. It's Hunter Poe. Poe, an 8-1 record and a 3.11 ERA. 84 innings pitched, 55 strikeouts, 29 walks. First pitch to Woodward, who squares up to bunt, pulls it back for ball one. Woodward hitting .329 on the year, and he's been very effective from the leadoff spot all year for Trinity, who runs out pretty much the same lineup that they have all year. Pitch high, 2-0 to Woodward.
Yeah, Hunter Poe, he has been very impressive this year, Cole. He was the day 3 starter from last year. He was in the bullpen, now on the mound.
Misses inside.
And he got put back in the starting lineup. We talked about it when McMurry played last time.
Pitch high and tight. And that is ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to start the day for Poe, not the way he wanted to get things going.
No, that's his 30th batter that he's walked. He has 55 strikeouts on the season. So strikeout to walk ratio, about 2 to 1. Definitely not the walk you want to give up, though.
Woodward dangerous on the base paths, and Maddox McDonald dangerous in the batter's box. Been one of the Tigers' best hitters all year. He thought about bunting, pulls it back for ball 1. The numbers for McDonald this year, very impressive. He's started all 47 games for the Tigers, hitting .354. Leads the team in steals with 19 should he get on. The 1-0. Popped up, sky high. Coming in is Beckham Paul, and he makes the catch in shallow right for out number 1.
Yeah, McDonald just under the pitch. And good job on Beckham Paul to call off his teammate. Probably had a much better look at the ball. Great way to get your first out.
Nick Lazara coming up to the plate for the Tigers. Over a 400 hitter on the year, switch hitter. Bats from the left-handed side to start this one. OPS well over 1,000, works with Woodward on first. Breaking ball finds the zone, strike called. The 0-1 to Lazara. He'll check on Woodward first. Poe in his last start, 6 innings pitched against Pomona in game 1 of McMurray's regional last weekend. Allowed 4 walks, only struck out 2 and allowed 4 hits. Gave up 4 earned runs, but that was enough to get the job done. McMurray would win that game, as they would win all of their regional games last weekend.
Yeah, batters don't fare very well against Poe, and they only have a .219 batting average against him. It's a lot of weak contact that he draws with his pitches.
Pitch to Lazara. Woodward still on first. Fouled off, inside out swing into the screen above his own dugout.
Now, there is reliance on that infield that McMurray has, but very solid group all across the field for this McMurray squad.
Trying to work around the leadoff walk. 1 down in the inning. Fouled off again as Lazara continues to stay alive in a 2-strike situation. Trying to work a quality at bat. McMurray very strong in their starting rotation, so we assume we'll see Ethan Wendell tomorrow. Both him and Poe, as they check on Woodward, who dives back safely. Both him and Poe, second team All-SCAC this season. It's been McMurray's strength, their starting rotation.
Yeah, and they're going to try to keep him on the mound as long as possible.
0-2, fouled off again, this time very much out of play towards the parking lot out there and left.
Talk some keys to the game. I think for McMurray, it's keeping Poe and Wendell out as long as you possibly can and have them pitching well.
Lazara not helping with that right now. Multiple foul balls in a row, running up the pitch count already. Slapped foul this time towards the Warhawks dugout.
Again, Paul, both sides. They love to stay alive, especially in these types of counts. It is very annoying as a pitcher when a guy just fouls off the ball about 10 dozen times.
The 0-2 to Lazara. Runner on first, 1 down. Hit the other way, blooper left field. It lands, but foul. Just barely.
Yeah, it was almost dangerous, but just landed foul. I'm sure Lazara wanted that to land fair so the Tigers could get something going, but have to go back. It just ends up as another very long foul ball.
Escobar giving chase over there, not able to get to that ball. It was not very far from the foul line out there in left field. Chalk it up as a 4th consecutive foul ball off the bat of Lazera. Poe having to work for this one. Hit in the air, left field. Will it find the grass? Escobar comes in and makes the catch. Woodward has to sprint back, dives in safely back to first, and there's 2 down. Poe able to win that battle with Lazera.
Yeah, and Escobar and Carpenter have such great range out in the outfield. It should be no surprise to anybody who's watched this McMurray squad that Escobar ran and made that play. Both those guys super fast, great range. They're going to track nearly everything down.
So after all that, Nick Jones coming up to the plate, a .303 hitter, OPS just barely above 1,000. 2 down, runner on first, and he hits one in the air, deep to right field, going back towards the wall, and the catch is made at the warning track. Coy Carpenter ranges over and makes the play. So an adventurous couple of outs for McMurray to end this inning, but they do without a run on the board. It's still 0-0 as we head to the 2nd. Welcome back to the Alamo City as McMurray and Trinity are tied in Game 1 of this Super Regional. Winner of this best of 3 will advance to the College World Series, and McMurray's best offensive player, maybe best player overall, Michael Smosna up to the plate. SCAC Player of the Year will face Jake Beck with nobody out, nobody on. Takes ball 1.
Now, Smosna, he is a bad man, Cole. He hits like a truck. He comes in clutch in so many situations for the Warhawks.
Pitch misses for Beck. 78 on that one out of the hand. Smosna has appeared, and now his 45th game of the year. Mentioned he was the SCAC Player of the Year. And you talk about showing up when it matters. 7 for 12 in the regional this last weekend. Pitch misses in the dirt. Quickly 3-0 to Smosna. Recorded at least 2 hits and an RBI in all 3 games.
Yeah, he's got a over 1250 OPS right now in the season, and that is crazy for any level of baseball.
3-0 pitch. Misses away and a 4-pitch walk, so every half inning has started with a leadoff walk. This one, no different.
Yeah, they were kind of pitching away from Smosna there. Given Smosna's track record with the Tigers, I would say not very surprising. I think you'd rather have Smosna at first rather than third or second or rounding home base.
Now the designated hitter, Nolan Schrenzel, up to the plate, a 300 hitter on the year. Tries to drop down a bunt, ends up going foul, 0-1. Schrenzel had a tough weekend, 0 for 7 in the regional in 2 starts, trying to turn it around in the Super. His team able to overcome that with some clutch wins. First 2 victories, scoring the game-winning run in the 9th inning. Check on Smosna at first, back safely.
It always kind of stinks when it seems like everyone on your team is hitting some clutch shots and you're the one guy who's going 0 for. Just makes you more motivated to go out there next time and get a hit.
They drop down the bunt. This one's a really good one. Lazera can't make the play. Tries to throw to first anyway. Michael Lustina did a good job diving to stop that from going into right field. Everybody's safe. First and second, nobody out.
Yeah, just couldn't grab it. Lazera, you see him, just slips through the hand. Couldn't get him out at first. Didn't really have a chance after he missed the grab. Just good job on Lustina for keeping it in the infield.
So a good start to the inning for McMurry, looking for the game's first runs. And now a first-year Logan Paul hitting .336 on the year. Beckham Paul. Ground ball. Beck gets the lead man. Throw to first, not in time, but a good aggressive play on the bunt. I apologize for messing up that name. Beckham Paul gets to first.
I think that's the right decision from the Tigers to get the lead runner out. Again, these Warhawks are really good at bunting. You see it again, almost works. Man, that is a split-second decision.
See Trinity working on that a lot in practice, getting the lead man in these bunt situations. They do so there. Blake Beach now at the plate. Takes a strike. Beach a .300 hitter on the year. Working with runners on first and second. One down in the inning. Strike call. They try to get Paul at first, but able to dive back safely. Count 0-2.
Yeah, the Tigers are really trying to get that base runner at first out, but you still have the double play set up with that runner on first.
Pitch from Beck. 0-2. Breaking ball just misses.
It was a good pitch near the knees. But Blake Beach, he is a great batter. He's got a good eye. Not swinging at that.
Pitch outside, not very competitive on that one. Lazera able to keep it in front of him. Two runners on, the count 2-2, one down in the inning. Fouled off the end of the bat of Beach.
I think you see it on your screen, but a really good turnout for this super regional game in San Antonio. A lot of people here. The McMurry faithful traveled well to California. I would hope it's much easier to travel to San Antonio when you're in your own state.
2-2, slapped the other way and foul. This game being moved from its original noon start time back to 7 p.m. And I would say a pretty good call by everybody involved there, and much cooler here. 2-2. Ground ball, this could be two. Ramsey bobbles and doesn't get anybody. So that will go down as an E6, and the bases are now filled with Warhawks.
Yeah, it's going to be the second error for the Tigers in this inning and on the game overall. It just eats Ramsey up. The bounce just off the top of the glove near the palm. Couldn't glove it. You just got to shake that off if you are Beck.
So now Xavier Escobar, the 9-hole hitter, fouls one back into the screen. Not a standard 9-hole hitter, hitting .328 on the year. Comes up with the bases loaded. Beck, opportunity to get out of it with a double play. His defense does him no favors, and now he has to keep going in a dangerous situation. Pitch in the dirt, a good block by Lazera behind the dish.
And we'll see if these miscues come back to haunt the Tigers. Because right now, errors have cost them 2 outs, which would have gotten them out of this inning.
The 1-1. Throw gets away, and a run will score. Lazera tried throwing to third. It clinked off something. Ended up all the way to the Trinity dugout, and it's 1-0 McMurry.
And 2 runs are going to score here.
I'm going to say that got out of play, so 2 runs will score, and another error committed by Trinity.
Yeah, a bit of a bizarre play to start the scoring here in San Antonio. Seems just like frantic play from the Tigers right now. They are struggling to settle down into the super regional situation.
Escobar still in a 1-2 count after 2 runs score, both of them unearned to Beck. Did he go? Yes. And so he is out. 2 down in the inning. We'll see it again.
Yep, looks like a pretty full turn to me. Although technically there is no specific rule on what a swing is. It's up to umpire discretion.
Coy Carpenter coming up for the 2nd time today. Walked in his first plate appearance. Trying to extend the McMurry lead, already up 2-0. 2 Trinity errors bringing in those runs. Hit in the air, sky high. Will it be playable? Tinker reaches up and makes the catch. A nice one in foul ground, but damage done as McMurry strikes first. It's 2-0 Warhawks on Trinity errors. They'll try and respond when we come back. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. McMurry up 2-0 on Trinity here in game 1. Will Baker will lead things off for the Tigers, hitting .312 on the year. Tigers now have work to do offensively as 2 unearned runs come in to score for McMurry. Baker takes a strike. It evens the count at 1-1. Hunter Poe and this McMurry pitching staff now working with a lead. Something they didn't do very much the last time they were here in San Antonio. Baker takes a strike, a nice slider. McMurry found themselves down pretty early in games 1 and 2. And in game 3, the Tigers with a 4-run 9th inning to come back and walk it off. Baker hits this one in the air to deep right field, back towards the warning track, and the catch is made by Carpenter.
Yeah, another ringing shot from a Tiger. It just falls short of actually getting out. It's all contact from Baker, but just not quite the strength or really the launch angle to hit it out.
Some would say it was too high. Brandon Nelson comes up to the plate now, leading the Tigers in batting average, 408, but he hits this one sky high into left field. Back at the wall, and it drops off the glove of Escobar. Nelson digging in for third, and he will have a 3-base play, as that will surely be an error in left field on Escobar. So the defensive issues for McMurry in the last half inning, Trinity, and now they surface for McMurray.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how it's scored. Escobar, I don't know if he lost it. I think maybe misjudged it a little bit. It's not like the sun is really shining right now. It's covered up by clouds. Either way, opportunity for the Tigers to score. And after that last inning, Cole, I think they're really wanting to make it up to Jake Beck.
Still work to do. Runner on third. Kai Tinker at the plate. Pitch way high. Ball 1. Tinker, a 372 hitter. Showing the depth of this Trinity lineup. Working with Nelson on third. Pitch high, 2-0. Popped up. Beach coming into the infield grass, and he makes the catch, 2 away.
Yeah, perfect outcome for the Warhawks there. Just pop it up in the infield, and nothing will happen offensively for the Tigers. Trinity really not wanting to strand that runner at third, but Hunter Poe, he is getting the Tigers to swing at some things that maybe they should think twice about.
Trinity able to drag out at bats in the last frame, not so much in this one. A lot of quick results as Lustina comes up to the plate. Has to duck out of the way of the first pitch he sees. Goes down as ball 1. Lustina, a 270 plus hitter on the year, hitting 8th. Pitch misses. 2-0 pitch from Poe. 2 down in the inning. Runner waiting on third. Swing and a miss from Lustina. Count now 2-1.
On that pitch that was over Lustina's head. Not only did he duck, but his bat ducked as well. Probably due to a past incident where he grounded out in a very strange way.
Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the glove of Smosna. Count 2-2.
This isn't what you want to see if you're the Tigers, is Hunter Poe getting into a groove.
Trying to make it a quick inning, and Strand Nelson on third. The 2-2, 2 down in the inning. Foul ball, Lustina stays alive. They have scored that play from Escobar in error. So initially they're saying it hit his glove. Nelson waiting on third as a result of it. Trinity trying to get a run back. Good take by Lustina, pitch away. Now a full count with 2 down in the inning. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. A big strikeout for Hunter Poe. Pumped up as he walks off the mound with a 2-0 lead. We'll head to the top of the third. You're watching Tiger Network on NCAA Live. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University, where McMurry leads 2-0 over the Trinity Tigers. Top of the third here in San Antonio. Ty Nelson leads things off and takes ball 1 from Jake Beck, who's allowed 2 runs in this game, both of them unearned. It's been a 3-error game already for Trinity's defense. Nelson takes a strike. His second plate appearance of the day, a sacrifice bunt in the first one. 1-1 pitch from Beck. Pitch misses low, 2-1.
Yeah, you want to know how this game has been strange? All you have to look is there hasn't been a hit this game so far.
Nelson looking for the first. Not going to get it there. Pitch out of his reach. Takes it for ball 3, 3-1. Nobody out, nobody on. In the top of the third, 2-0 McMurry lead. Popped up. Is it playable? Baker coming in and makes the catch in foul ground for out number 1.
These are the outs that the Tigers are looking to achieve. Just a light pop-up. Easy to grab. Even though there's wind, it didn't look like it affected the ball that much. Look at that tracking from Baker. The guy who saw the ball the entire time.
Now Riley Hood coming up to the plate, a .399 hitter on the year so far. It's a ground ball. Ramsey fields it cleanly. Throw to first in time, and a quick 2 outs for Beck.
That's some solid pitching. Hood, not an easy out to get. So, first pitch, ground out. That's definitely what Beck wants to see.
Trying to force the Warhawks, go 3 up, 3 down. Tough challenge with Colin Bruning coming up to the plate. First pitch misses low, ball 1. Beck so far has worked a good game, but he's been bitten by a couple of errors. Trying to finish a clean third. This is hit in the air, deep to right field, back at the wall, and it is foul. Just drifts a little too far to the right, would have been trouble in the corner.
I think Bruning also had a very similar thing happen where he hit a very nice looking ball foul. Trying to straighten that up a little.
1-1, misses low. Count now 2-1. See how Beck settles down. Another high exit velocity off the bat of Bruning, the second consecutive at-bat. Bruning 0 for 1 today with a strikeout, though. Pitch just misses, 3-1.
This is a very dangerous guy to put into a batter's count, Cole.
Does not get any easier with Smosno waiting on deck. Ground ball and fair down the first base line. Baker will pick it up off the foot of the bullpen and hold Bruning to a single, but it's the first hit of the day for either team.
And Bruning can't help but keep hugging that line. Yeah, just fair. It was a quick ball hit. What a good call by the umpire there. Yeah, he's just been hitting everything down the line, and that one lands fair.
Michael Smosna up to the plate for the second time today. Walked the first time he was up, now working with a runner on, 2 down in the inning. Fouled the other way onto the roof of the Bell Center. So a quick 0-1 count. McMurray up 2-0 in this one. Colin Bruning, the first year, waiting on first. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. And quickly 0-2 for Smosna.
Smosna is just such a dynamic player, Cole. Anywhere he hits the ball, he could be at any base at any time. He's just an excellent ball player.
The 0-2 from Beck. Runner on first. Ball high. Smosna did quite a bit of damage the last time he was here. Was really the only one doing anything offensively for McMurry in the first 2 games. He went 8 for 12 in the series here in San Antonio earlier in the year. Got more help in game 3, and McMurry in a position to win that one. Ultimately didn't. But definitely their best effort as he takes strike 3 down the chute. So Beck works a scoreless third. McMurray still up 2-0 as we'll head to the bottom of the third in San Antonio. Gets him looking at the knees to end this frame. Welcome back to the Super Regional in San Antonio, Texas. John Ramsey will lead things off for the Tigers and hits a fly ball to left field. Escobar has an easier time with this one, and a quick out number 1 for Hunter Poe as we're back in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Now, it's a lot of good contact for the Tigers so far. It's just putting it in a spot where the fielders ain't, and there's a fielder there, Cole.
Good sound off the bat, but nothing doing for Ramsey there. They'll bring up Caleb Woodward for the 2nd time today. Walked the first time he was up, thinks about bunting, pulls it back for strike 1.
Maybe more of a watch the break of the pitch.
0-1. Chopper down the line, but foul.
I think a lot to be desired on both sides in terms of fielding. 4 errors in the game so far, not even a third of the way through it.
The 0-2. Ground ball to Beach. Throws on a hop, and it's in time. So quickly 2 away.
Now Blake Beach has been excellent at the shortstop position all year, Cole. Again, routine play. He bounces it, but you have another really good player in Colin Bruning at first base. Just so defensively sound.
Maddox McDonald up to the plate. 0 for 1 today. .352 average on the year. Takes a strike. McDonald, a pretty critical player for Trinity's success. Tigers had a stretch towards the middle of the year where they weren't playing their best baseball. Takes a pitch high, count 1-1. McDonald was hitting around .220 during that stretch where they went 8-6. Outside of that, hitting over .400. The team is 31-2. Shows how critical he is to the team's success as he hits one into left field, back towards the wall, and it's gone over the cutout and left. Maddox McDonald gets the party started for the Tigers. They're on the board, a solo homer.
Now, off the bat, it sounded great. I think the question was it going to go over the wall or was it going to hop off the wall? It went over. Tigers get a run on the board, and they get their first hit as well.
So Trinity finally on the board, a solo homer in the bottom of the third. It was McDonald who got things going in their regional against ETBU. Hit 2 home runs in that first game against the Tigers of ETBU. And you'll see the replay again here.
Yeah, look at that ball fly. It exited the park in a hurry, too.
Lazara takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Count now 1-1 to him. I personally didn't think it was going out because of that cutout. It's very hard to leave the yard in that position. McDonald does so, though. Lazara drives one into right field. Paul ranges over and makes the catch. So Beckham Paul ends the inning, but not before the Tigers get some 2-out thunder. It's 2-1. Solo homer off the bat of Maddox McDonald, cutting the deficit in half for Trinity. We'll head to the 4th. Welcome back to the top of the 4th inning on the campus of Trinity University for the NCAA Super Regional. Game 1 between McMurry and Trinity. Nolan Schrenzel up to the plate. Takes a ball high from Jake Beck, who's still working in a deficit, but not as big of a one as last time. The homer off Maddox McDonald. Takes a strike, count 1-1. The homer for McDonald, making this a 2-1 game. Trinity on the board for the first time. Pitch from Beck. Misses away, 2-1.
And right now it's kind of a pitcher's grudge match, Cole. It's kind of what it was in the regular season series, a bit unexpectedly.
Popped up onto the roof near us. 1, 2, 3, and that's all it'll be. Now the 2-2 to Schrenzel. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts looking for Jake Beck. 1 down in the 4th.
Yeah, well, you can pencil Schrenzel in for a strikeout looking. Beck has been really good at locating that pitch. Another strikeout victim for him.
Now Beckham Paul up to the plate, grounded into a fielder's choice. Takes a strike. That is Beckham Paul. Apologize for the Paul family for that. That's on me. Now in an 0-1 situation. Hit in the air to left field. Jones backing up towards the warning track, settles under it and makes the catch. So 2 quick outs for Jake Beck.
And for a moment there, I thought that was going to drift out of the park. I just saw Jones go back and back and back. But like a lot of hits today, just couldn't quite get it out.
The wind, like it usually does here on the campus of Trinity University, blowing from right to left. No different today. As you hit a ball in the air out there, you never know. Blake Beach up to the plate. Takes a pitch inside, ball one. Beach reaching on an E6 the last time he was up. That could have ended the inning with a double play, and this game could be 1-0 Tigers. Instead, 2-1 McMurry. Count now 2-0. Nobody on, 2 down in the inning. Top of the fourth. McMurry with the 2-1 lead. Pitch misses low and away, 3-0. Beck going against the bottom of the order. Beach, the 8-hitter. The 9-hole hitter, Escobar, waiting on deck. See if he'll get an opportunity to bat. And he will. Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk with 2 down and nobody on.
There is a little bit of movement in the Tiger bullpen. Some guys starting to move around up there. We'll see if Beck can get out of the inning. How much of a leash he has right now.
Facing Xavier Escobar, a .325 hitter on the year. 0 for 1 today, struck out in his only plate appearance. Time called, now he steps back in, ready to go. Runner on first is Beach. 2 down in the inning. Fouled back into the screen in our direction, 0-1. Didn't expect Jake Beck to go very long to begin with in this game, as the Tigers have been kind of running quasi-bullpen games for the better part of a few months now. So far, he's performed about what they would have hoped for. Throws to first, Beach dives back safely.
That second inning's got to hurt, not just for the runs scored, but for the amount of extra pitches Beck had to throw. I'm sure they wanted a little bit more out of him in this game than maybe what they'll get.
The 0-1 is lined into left field. It's a base hit, and this will get all the way to the wall. Beach will be stopped at third. Escobar slides in safely. It's a 2-out double. Runners on second and third for McMurry.
A solid base knock. Ran him in, but still muscled it out into left field anyways.
And we'll see if that's it for Jake Beck. It looks like it is. So Trinity starter able to go 3.2 innings in this one. He will be responsible for the runners on second and third currently, as we'll have a pitching change in San Antonio. New arm when we come back.
It out. Here's the 2-2. Popped up, left field. Jones over, under, squeezes it, and that's it. McMurry is headed to the Super Regionals, defeating the Sagehens by a final of 12-3. What a moment for these Warhawks, as you can see the emotion for Coach Josh Lee as they dogpiled just out off of the mound. They're going back to Texas with some hardware.
Yeah, congratulations to the McMurry University Warhawks coming in here and ending the 2 SCIAC team seasons, 2 very strong teams, and also the Whitworth Pirates, a very big moment to them. Huge congratulations. Very, very happy for this team.
You can see what it means for this team.
And that was the final out of the regional for McMurray. And they knew they were advancing to the Supers here in San Antonio for the first time in their program history. New pitcher on the mound for the Tigers is Jack Boussard. 1-0 record with a 3.6 ERA. works against the top of the McMurry lineup. Coy Carpenter, a 250 hitter on the year, who's 0 for 1 today. He has walked and popped out to third. Trying to extend the McMurry lead. They have runners on second and third. Takes a strike, count evens at 1-1.
Yeah, it was a magical run through that Laverne Regional for the Warhawks. They dispatched Pomona Pitzer in that final game 12-3, but the first two.
Lined into left field, it's a base hit. Beach will score. Escobar being waved home, scores with ease. Jones fumbles it a little bit in the left field corner. So Carpenter slides into second easily. It's a 2 RBI double.
Coy Carpenter coming in clutch for the Warhawks. Great knock into left field. Trinity doesn't necessarily shift an outfielder into that part of this baseball field. Took a long time to get to it, allowed both runners to come in to score. Great job.
Ty Nelson now up to the plate. This is hit in the air, deep to center field. Woodward ranging back towards the track, and he makes the catch towards the wall. That ends the inning, but not before McMurry strikes with 2 more runs. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th in this Super Regional. The Warhawks lead game 1 4-1. You're watching Tiger Network live on NCAA Live. Welcome back. The bottom of the 4th inning on the campus of Trinity University. Nick Jones will lead things off for the Tigers, who find themselves in a big hole, 4-1. Jones takes a strike, and their biggest problem right now is probably on the mound in Hunter Poe, who just threw his 37th pitch of the night. His pitch count not high at all. The 0-1, hit in the air sky high, but drifting foul out of play.
That ball goes foul, but it's been a lot of very quick ABs for the Tigers. That has kept that pitch count that low. That's not what the Tigers should be looking for here.
The 0-2 just misses. Don't know where. One-two pitch to Jones. Ground ball to second, and the throw to first in time, 1 away.
A relatively simple play for Ty Nelson over at second. Very weak contact off the bat of Jones. Easy first out.
Tigers trying to get going offensively. Only 1 run so far through 4 innings. Will Baker 0 for 1 today. Flew out to center. Takes a strike. Baker, a 309 hitter on the year, and he's come up big in the postseason so far for Trinity, specifically in the SCAC tournament. 2 game-winning hits in their 3 wins. Pitch away, 1-1. Strike called, 1-2. Baker with the walk-off hit against St. Thomas in the Tigers' first game in the SCAC tournament, and then a game-winning hit against Concordia. 1-2. Grounded. Beach plays it on a hop. Throw to first in time. And a nice play from Blake Beach at short. 2 away quickly.
He's been very excellent all year long, Cole. Just showing off what he's capable of. Makes that play look very easy.
Brandon Nelson coming up to the plate for the Tigers. 0 for 1 today, 2 down in the inning. Nelson reaching on an E7, got 3 bases out of it. Nelson hits it in the air, deep to right field, back at the wall, it's gone! Some more 2-out magic for Trinity, another solo home run, this one off the bat of Brandon Nelson.
Yeah, the Tiger bats have been getting solid contact off of Poe pretty much all game long. And that one, the most solid contact we've seen. They celebrate, both McDonald and Nelson going deep to cut into this deficit.
It's a baker's dozen for Brandon Nelson, his 13th home run of the year. That is the team lead. Brings up Kai Tinker. Trinity now down 4-2. 2 solo shots, one from Maddox McDonald and the other from Brandon Nelson just now. Tinker 0 for 1 with a pop out today. This one grounded. Could be a tough play for Beach. Ranges and makes the play in time. So back-to-back innings where Hunter Poe faces 4 batters, but one of them goes deep. Trinity able to get a run back on this solo shot from Brandon Nelson. It's 4-2. McMurry still with the lead in game 1. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning on Tiger Network. Welcome back to game 1 of the San Antonio Super Regional. Jack Boussard back on the mound for the Tigers as he'll face the heart of this McMurry lineup, Riley Hood. Hood takes ball 1. 0 for 2 today with 2 groundouts as they've kept him in check so far. Hasn't done any good for them on the scoreboard though. Trinity finding themselves trailing this game. This is hit in the air, center field. Woodward camps under it and makes the catch, 1 down.
It's another very quick out for Hood. I think last time he came up, it was a 1-pitch at bat for him as well. Trying to jump on things early. Muscled it out a good ways, just not enough.
Cleanup hitter, Colin Bruning coming up to the plate, 1 for 2. Base hit the last time he was up. McMurray, such a talented team offensively, especially towards the top and middle of their order. 0-1. Misses low. And that's what we were expecting when they came into San Antonio a couple months ago for their SCAC series. But it didn't end up being the case. It was much more of a pitcher's duel in all 3 games. This is grounded. Lustina dives, gets up, makes the throw in time. What a play at second by Michael Lustina.
Yeah, it's excellent, Cole. Great job laying out, smothers the ball. Michael Lucina has been one of the best defensive players for the Tigers this year. His range is just so good.
Shows it off there as Michael Smazna will come up to the plate. Smazna, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, is also walked. Pitch from Broussard, misses low. Count now 1-0 to Smazna, who comes out with nobody on and 2 down in the inning. Low again, and it's 3-0, being very careful with Smazna. And pitching coach Dave Smith coming out. We've seen them do this mid-at-bat every now and then. We'll see if this is a chat or a change. There is some action in the Tiger bullpen, but for now, this looks to be just a talk. So Dave Smith done with his meeting and a 3-0 count. Talked about this on the broadcast a lot all year. So after the pitching coach Dave Smith comes out to meet with his guy, usually the next pitch is a strike. We'll see if that's the case or if I just jinxed it. 3-0 pitch to Smazna. Strike called.
He just has such a way with words, Cole. I don't know what to say.
Well, I do my best. Now the 3-1. Hit in the air, drifting foul, and it will be out of play. Off one of the poles in the netting in right field.
Yeah, went off the top of one of the poles. I don't know if I've ever seen it go directly off the top before.
Full count, 2 down. This is hit into left center field. It will find the gap. Smazna charging in for second. He gets there easily, sliding in safely. It's a 2-out double.
And that contact is no surprise if you've watched the Warhawks at all. Smazna is usually doing this in every single game. Just crushes it into the gap. With such blistering speed off the bat, too. And he himself is a fast catcher. He'll stand at second. He's usually in scoring position most of the time for the Warhawks.
So the inning will continue, but we'll have to wait as it looks like this will be a change. Dave Smith now coming out to get Broussard, who works an inning in this one, will be responsible for Smazna, who waits at second. So the new arm coming in for Trinity will be back after he's done warming up. 4-2, McMurray with the lead. Welcome back to the Super Regional in San Antonio, Texas. New arm on the mound for the Tigers. It's Trajan Lee. Comes in with a 6-0 record, a 4.94 ERA. An opportunity to lower that here in this one. He'll face Nolan Schrenzel, the designated hitter. 1 for 2, has a base hit and a strikeout. Lee coming in with a runner on second, and Smosna. First pitch misses away. Lee's last appearance in the first game of Trinity's regional at ETBU against Huntingdon. Pitched 4 scoreless innings in that one. Looking for more of that today. Trying to get out of this jam first. Hit in the air, sky high, drifting out of play and foul, right field side.
Now Lee put up a good performance against Huntingdon. Although the Warhawks, or not the Warhawks, they're just the Hawks. A lot of Warhawks. Very few Hawks, surprisingly.
The 1-1. Fouled into the screen, now 1-2.
We're hoping that performance translates over to this game, because when he came in, the Hawks were pretty out of it at that point. I think Trinity had a double-digit lead. This one, a much more clutch situation that Lee has been thrusted into.
His job to hold this deficit to 2. The 1-2. Misses away. Count now even. A streak that is trying to continue is that the Tigers have won every single game that Trajan Lee has entered. They try to get the back pick and throws it into center field, but thankfully for Trinity, Smosna didn't realize it in time. Woodward would have been in a position to gun him down.
And maybe Smosna didn't realize it, but also Lustina was practically on top of Smosna. I don't know if he wanted to give him a piggyback ride over to third.
So disaster averted for Trinity. Almost gave up a free base. Now a 2-2. Smosna hits for third. Ground ball. Ramsey throws in time. So Trajan Lee comes in and gets out of the jam. Holds this deficit to 2. As we're halfway through this one in San Antonio, McMurry leads game 1 4-2. Welcome back. Bottom of the 5th inning on the campus of Trinity University. McMurry leads game 1 4-2. Michael Lustina leading things off for the Tigers. Takes ball 1. Wind starting to ramp up. Takes a pitch away from Poe, 2-0. Poe looking very strong in his 5th inning of work. Has pitched at least 5 innings in his last several appearances for the Warhawks. However, not a good start to this one. Ball's behind, 3-0. Called strike. Now 3-1.
Yeah, Poe has had some struggle on the mound with his command.
Lustina bloops one in the shallow center, falling but not fast enough. Nice play by Carpenter to run that down. 1 down in the inning.
Able to get the out of Lustina right there. If it was maybe any other center fielder, Cole, that probably falls, but Carpenter's speed, it just can't be denied. Makes the hustle over there.
Now John Ramsey. 0 for 1. Fowles first pitch he sees back into the screen. 241 hitter on the year. That was a lot lower just a month ago. He's really heated up as of late at his 6 for 10 weekend in the regional in 2 starts. Swing and a miss at that pitch, 0-2. Ramsey, a big part of the reason why the Tigers have gotten this far. 2-run homer in the 8th inning to give Trinity a 4-3 lead at the time. They would win that game in extra innings. 7-4 against ETBU to advance to the Super Regional. Pitch high, 1-2.
Yeah, they like his defense, and when his bat gets hot, it's always a joy to watch. He had a really good weekend in Marshall.
Good take on a breaking ball that misses. Count even at 2-2.
One of the stats that jumps out to me right now, Cole, is that Poe has thrown about 60% of his balls for strikes.
This is hit in the air to deep left field, back towards the warning track, and the catch is made by Escobar. Falling back to the wall, he reels it in. 2 down in the inning.
Once again, solid contact from a Tiger bat, just not far enough. It's an incredible play from Escobar. Like, that is one of the toughest plays to make in the outfield. Great defensive play.
Caleb Woodward now coming up with 2 down, nobody on. 0 for 1 today. He does have a walk. Pitch outside, 1-0. It's about 365 to where that ball was hit by Ramsey, and he probably got 363 on it. This will be much shorter. Popped up. Beach calling and makes the catch in shallow left. A quick 1-2-3 inning. McMurray rolling as they send us to the 6th. They're up 4-2 in game 1. Welcome back to game 1 of the Super Regional here on the campus of Trinity University. Trajan Lee still on the mound for the Tigers, and Beckham Paul will lead things off for McMurray here in the top of the 6th. Takes a strike, 88 out of the hand of Lee. Lee finding himself in a bit of a different role late in the year, struggled a little bit as a starter after being one of the Tigers' best starters for the first 2 months of the year. This is lined into center field. Woodward will let it fall in front of him. So leadoff man aboard with a base hit.
And Woodward content to just let the ball fall. He dives for it. Tigers would probably give up an extra base. It'd be a tough play. I think very smart from Woodward.
So the Tigers content with the runner on. And Blake Beach up to the plate for the third time today. Drops down a bunt, but it goes off his foot. I'll see what they signal here. Beach going back to the batter's box, it looks like. Tim Scannell coming out to discuss it. And we'll see what we see on the replay.
Yeah, and Coach Scannell is going to want Beach to be called out here. Off the bat, it's rolling. It touches foot there. They're going to say no, so Beach will survive.
Based on that look, could have been in the batter's box.
It looks like he kicked it into play.
0-1, Beach pops up the bunt. Lazara coming in and he makes the grab. So not what McMurray was looking for there. One down in the inning.
And Blake Beach dropped some really clutch bunts in that Laverne Regional. That one does not go so well. Popping up a bunt is one of the most annoying things that can happen as a batter.
Xavier Escobar up to bat now, 1 for 2 today. A double the last time he was up. Lee checks on the runner at first. Paul dives back safely. Facing the bottom of this McMurray order, and Escobar will flip over with Carpenter after this. McMurray with the 4-2 lead. Breaking ball misses. Good take by Escobar.
That was a good idea from Lee, but Escobar not chasing.
Count 1-0. One down in the inning, runner on first. Just misses. 87 out of the hand of Lee. 2-0. We've referenced the series that these two played in conference and SCAC play earlier in the year. McMurray getting swept here in San Antonio. Not only was it the only time they got swept all year, it was the only series they lost all season. Lee finds the zone. Strike called, 2-1.
And we'll see if Escobar draws a walk. He doesn't do that very often.
I'll check on the runner at first. No disengagement rules at Division III. They can do that as many times as they want, and oftentimes they do. Escobar hits this to shallow center. Woodward ranging in and makes the play. 2 down.
Good situation for Lee to be in. He's been working effectively on the mound thus far for the Tigers. Once again, Xavier Escobar, he's walked 15 times. Everyone else in the starting lineup has walked over 20 times. This is a very patient team.
Lineup flips over. Coy Carpenter doubled the last time he was up. Fouled off the end of his bat into the screen. 0-1. Was a 2 RBI double that extended the McMurray lead at the time. They were up 2-1. It made it 4-1. Trinity since then has gotten a run back. Good take by Carpenter. Does a little bit of a shuffle. The 1-1. This is smoked into the air, deep to right field, but not far enough. Woodward makes the catch as the ball dies It ends the inning. A scoreless frame thrown by Lee. As we'll head to the bottom of the 6th in San Antonio. You're watching Tiger Network on NCAA Live. Game 1 of this Super Regional. Welcome back to the Alamo City. Sun setting here in San Antonio, where the Tigers find themselves trailing 4-2. McMurry needs 2 wins to advance to the College World Series for the first time in their program history, trying to get the first one here tonight in a good position so far. Hunter Poe back on the mound. He'll face Maddox McDonald, who takes strike 1. McDonald, the number 2 hitter for Trinity, as he has been pretty much all year. 1 for 2 today. The 1, a home run, solo shot. This is a chopper to third. Hood makes the throw in time. First action he's seen defensively today.
And he makes it worthwhile. It's a great play by Riley Hood. Again, another kind of quick AB for the Tigers. For a pitcher that hasn't thrown a lot of pitches, you like to see that.
Talked about McMurry leaning on their starting pitching, and the further they can go, the better off they'll be, and that is exactly what's happened so far. Poe will face Nick Lazera, who's flown out in his 2 previous plate appearances. Check swing, did he go? No. A 4-man umpire crew today for this Super Regional. So far, it seems like they've done a pretty good job. Strike called, 1-1. Tapped foul, 1-2. Excuse me, 2-1. So Lazera settles in, 2-strike count. Takes it low, 2-2.
A nice patient at bat for Lazera right now. Work up the count.
This is driven in the air, deep to right field, and it'll fall on the warning track, hops over the wall. It's an automatic double. And it'll bring the tying run to the plate in the 6th.
You know, Cole, I swear, this is the bounciest turf in all of Texas. I've seen more ground rule doubles at this field than I've seen at any other field that I've been to. Ground rule double for Lazera. It's a pretty common thing for the Tigers at this point. Puts himself into scoring position.
Another extra base hit for Trinity. They've only had 3 hits today. 2 of them are home runs, and then the ground rule double from Nick Lazera. Now Nicholas Jones up to the plate, takes ball 1. So the first time that Hunter Poe's had to deal with any traffic, really. A couple walks, but other than that, it's been very clean. Opportunity for Trinity with 1 down. This is hit sky high, out of play, onto the roof of the Bell Center. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. That was a very high first hop, and then it just died. Jones now in a 1-1 count. Lazera waiting on second after his 1-out double. 97 out of the hand of Poe there. Straight heat.
I think we've got some wind interference on
That's what it seems like. That didn't look like it was 97. I just trust what it says.
Well, last time they were throwing 137.
Lifted in the air, out of play, foul again. Dangerously close to the camera. I don't want that. We are not close enough to defend it. Now the 2-2. Just misses. Count will run full. Countdown count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And a runner on second. Pitch to Jones. Outside, ball 4. And for the first time today, Trinity has multiple base runners.
Yeah, that's what you want to see out of the Tigers. If you are a Trinity fan, draw out counts, because if you don't, Poe is just going to shove this entire game.
And the first meeting on the mound. Both of these teams walk a lot. Trinity leading the nation in walks with over 300. McMurry not far behind, though. They're on 6th in the country, and naturally 2nd in their conference, though they'd be leading almost every other conference.
It makes for an entertaining show, Cole, and this game's been very entertaining so far, I would say.
So Poe ready to go. He's allowed a double and a walk. Now he'll face the middle of this Tiger order and Will Baker. The first year 0 for 2 today. He's flown out to center and grounded out to short. The tying run on first base in Jones. Strike called.
I think this is the most trouble Poe has been in today. That's been caused by Poe not locating very well.
The 0-1. Misses. A good take from Baker. Nick Jones on first after his 1-out walk, and Nick Lazara still waiting at second. Inside, 2-1. Baker now in a hitter's count.
He's been a good ball player for the Tigers this year. Just a first year. He has not played like one throughout this year, though.
Fouled off, out of play, left field side. Count 2-2. Will Baker, a guy who got his opportunity pretty early in a game where the Tigers were up by a lot, eventually got his first start and hasn't looked back. He's been the Tigers' first baseman for the duration of the year. Hitless today, looking for his first. 2-2. Foul ball, he stays alive.
He's just got a knack at the plate. He can draw walks, he can get hits, he can be clutch. All that in such a young player, it's a very promising future for the Tigers.
Runners on first and second, 1 down. The 2-2. Outside, full count. And you see the pitch count for Hunter Poe, finally for Trinity, starting to run up a little bit. This next one will be number 79. The Trinity fans in attendance now making some noise. The 3-2, outside, ball 4, and that will load the bases.
And we'll see what McMurray opts to do here, Cole. This is a very big moment. How much trust do you think they'll put into Hunter Poe? They put a lot of trust in him in the past, but this is looking like a bit of a dicey situation right now.
And not the man McMurry wants to see come up to the plate, and Brandon Nelson. Trinity has 2 runs. He created one of them with a solo homer back in the 4th inning. Now comes in with the bases loaded. Pitch way outside, ball 1. Brandon Nelson, a 409 hitter on the year. And you see the last time he was up to the plate. That ball somewhere in the right field parking lot. Hit in the air. Drifting foul, and this will be out of play onto the roof of the batting cages and left. Goes down as a high strike.
Yeah, Brandon Nelson leads the Tigers in home runs, also leads the Tigers in broken windows and safe light repair calls, I would assume.
We do have footage of that. There is confirmation. He also has 1 grand slam on the year. The 1-1. Good take outside, 2-1. Can feel the tensions rising in this at-bat. Base hit could easily tie this game for the first time since it was 0-0. Nelson lines one into right field. It gets down. 1 run coming in. Baker will be stopped. Jones stopped at third. RBI single for Brandon Nelson. It's 4-3, his 2nd RBI.
Yeah, solid contact. He swings at a high pitch and puts it into right field. Bit of a chop in the upper part of the zone. Thankfully for the Warhawks, it didn't go that far, so it's just a station-to-station play for Trinity.
Paul doing a good job keeping it in front of him, and now a quick meeting between Poe and Smosna on the mound. Nick Jones was rounding third, but was wisely stopped by third base coach Joey Deering. Looked like he would have been pretty out on that. So it could have been worse for McMurray. Score now 4-3. First run for Trinity that has come in not via the home run. And Kai Tinker up to the plate. 367 hitter on the year, OPS over 950. Bases still filled with Tigers. Strike called.
Cole, we can't see the McMurray bullpen, but I do hear it having some activity. Somebody is throwing something in there.
Poe in his 6th inning of work, and the first time he's run into any real trouble. Trying to get out of it, only 1 down. Ground ball, this could be 2. Exactly what McMurray needs. Throw to first is in time. The double play ends the inning. Tigers able to get a run, but it could have been so much worse. McMurray turns the 4-6-3 that ends the inning. 4-3, McMurray still has the lead in game 1. Welcome back to game one of the Super Regional here in San Antonio, Texas. McMurry with the 4-3 lead against Trinity. Trajan Lee back on the mound for the Tigers. Plays the top of this McMurry lineup. Ty Nelson, the number 2 hitter, 0 for 2 today. Also has a sacrifice bunt on his night. 324 hitter on the year. Grounds one to Lustina on a couple of hops. Flips to first, 1 pitch, 1 out for Trajan Lee.
Another quick at-bat for a Warhawk. That one just ran in on his hands. You're pretty much always going to get weak contact off that type of pitch.
Riley Hood up to bat, 0 for 3 today. Takes a strike. Hood's had a couple of quick at-bats today and nothing to show for it so far. Very uncharacteristic, was hitting over 400 coming into this one. Definitely one of McMurray's most dangerous batters. 0-1. Rides inside, count even.
Yeah, it rode way inside. I thought it might hit Hood for a moment. Just doesn't, though.
The 1-1. Nice pitch from Lee. Looked like a slider, 82. Trinity offensively leaving the bases loaded in the last half inning, though they did get a run. Now a 4-3 game. Trajan Lee trying to keep it there. The 1-2 to Hood. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3. First strikeout of the evening for Trajan Lee. 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough day for the top of this McMurray lineup, Cole. Carpenter has a hit, and the man coming up has a hit, but everyone else, they've been struggling.
Colin Bruning. His 1 hit, a single in the 3rd. It's also struck out and grounded out. Takes a pitch away, close call, but not made. Bruning ahead, 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. So far, a very similar game to the ones we saw in early March. Somewhat low scoring and tight for the majority of it. This is hit in the air. Woodward drifts to his right and makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. A nice inning for Trajan Lee. He's been good so far in this postseason. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Trinity down to their final 9 outs. They need some runs, down 1. Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning. Game 1 of this Super Regional. McMurray with the 4-3 lead, trying to hang on to it, and to do it, they turn to their bullpen. Jonathan Enriquez on the mound for the Warhawks. First pitch to Lustina is in for strike 1, so the day done for Hunter Poe. He works 6 innings, surrenders 3 runs. Now Enriquez will come in to try and finish the job. Lustina bloops one into shallow center field, and it's down for a base hit. So a good start to the inning for the Tigers.
And this is such a big inning for the Tigers, Cole. First of all, it's a solid knock by Lustina, but McMurry having to go to their bullpen. They have to take Poe off the mound. The Tigers, they want to do some damage. They want the Warhawks to dig into that bullpen.
John Ramsey up to the plate. Foul ball off the bunt attempt. Skipped back into the screen behind him, and it's 0-1. Trinity trying to get this tying run in somehow. Enriquez trying to shut the door and collect the final 9 outs. Gets the bunt down, and it's a good one. Enriquez will field in time. So the sacrifice is complete as Ramsey's retired at first. Lustina advancing to second.
That's some classic small ball from the Tigers. Just get the guy into scoring position, and you flip the lineup over. Hope those guys at the top of the order can drive him in.
The lineup will flip over with Caleb Woodward facing Enriquez, who made 2 appearances in the regional at Laverne for McMurry. Combined, it was a 4 innings pitched effort in 2 games. Allowed 1 earned run, walked 1. Did not strike out anybody, but collected 2 victories. So McMurray was able to win both of those games late. Caleb Woodward now coming up to the plate. 0 for 2 with a walk. Tying run on second here in the 7th inning. Pitch outside, ball 1. Very unique stance for Enriquez. Bends all the way over. Now stands up and fires. Pitch misses inside and low.
Call that a modified Kimbrel.
Maybe a little bit. Not so much the crane, though. Kind of hangs his arm. Pitch from Enriquez, 2-0. Outside, ball 3. And not the start he was looking for.
Yeah, but walking Woodward here, not the end of the world, because you get the double play on the table, which you were able to turn last time.
We'll see how cautious he is here. Woodward thinking about bunting, pulling it back, and a strike's called.
Well, would have certainly been a surprise for the McMurray infield. They're not necessarily playing close up.
It's not convincing anybody to play any further in. Now a 3-1 pitch. That'll miss downstairs, ball 4. And the first 2 Tigers reach in the 7th. And due up will be Maddox McDonald. He's gone yard today. Here it was.
Yeah, he crushes it out into left field, over the tall part of the wall. It left in a hurry. He's going to try to do more of the same here.
Has runners on first and second, only 1 down in the inning. 1 for 3 today. This is lined into right field, a base hit. Lustina stopped at third, so the run does not score, but the bases are loaded with 1 down.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a deja vu situation for the Tigers, Cole. But a solid base knock into right field. Station to station, Cole. They are looking to drive in a tying, maybe even a go-ahead run. This is the guy you want to be up at the plate.
Nicholas Lazera, the switch-hitting catcher, over a 400 hitter on the year. Bases are filled with Tigers. 1 down, the pitch from Enriquez. Strike called, inside edge. Lazera today, 1 for 3. Last time he was up, a ground rule double. Lined over the glove of Beach into center field. 1 run comes in to score. Here comes Woodward. He's safe. Trinity takes the lead.
Oh, Cole. Baseball is a game of inches. So close for Blake Beach to snag that out of the air, give all the momentum to the Warhawks, but no, just past his glove. Tigers take the lead. What a clutch at bat for Nicholas Lazera.
Well, you said he was the guy they wanted at the plate. Shows why that's the case. 2 RBI single, and now the problem not necessarily solved for McMurry yet. Jones fans at that first pitch, strike called. Nicholas Jones, the cleanup hitter, walked the last time he was up. 1 down, runners on first and second. Trinity with their first lead of the game. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. Tigers scoring 2 runs here in the bottom of the 7th. Now puts Trajan Lee in position to get the win. The 0-2. Breaking ball misses low. Jones not offering.
Yeah, and if you're Enriquez, you have to bounce back from this one because things could get a lot worse potentially.
Jones trying to extend the lead. The 1-2. Ground ball. Hood makes the diving play. Has to throw to first. Does so in time. A nice recovery to get the out, but the runners will advance. Second and third, 2 down.
Yeah, rough play for Hood. He snags it, but the transfer just not going very smooth. You'll see he tries to get it out of his glove. Can't get it the first time. I don't know if you necessarily turn 2 there, but it makes that play a lot closer.
And that play at first. Jones almost beating it out. Either way, the runners advancing, and Will Baker a position to extend the lead. Pitch away, 1-0. Baker 0 for 2 today. Walked the last time he was up. Will Baker, the younger brother of Jack Baker, who played here for 4 years. Was a part of the team that went to the regional last season. Now it's Will's turn to try and do something. Pitch away, 2-0.
This kid has been put into some very big moments time and time again. We'll see what he does here.
Outside, 3-0. And look who's on deck. Brandon Nelson seeing if he'll get a shot in this inning. 3-0 pitch, 2 away. Runners on second and third. Strike called, 3-1.
We'll see what the strategy is on a 3-1 count for Baker. He's already drawn a walk today.
Strike 2. Back-to-back strikes looking.
He caught that outside edge of the zone there.
Enriquez has battled back. Pitch misses low. Baker not offering. He heads to first. Bases loaded.
On the upside for the Warhawks, you got a force out at every bag. On the downside, well, obviously, the bases are loaded for the Tigers' leading hitter for home runs.
Home runs and average. A .414 hitter now. He's 2 for 3 today. A home run and a base hit. First pitch is away, ball 1. Talking to Coach Scannell earlier this year, he talked about Trinity's ability to hit with the game on the line, but said he wanted more in situations where they could add on. Nelson lines in, it's caught. Ty Nelson making the play at second, that ends the inning. But Trinity adding 2, and they take their first lead of the game. Could have been more with the bases loaded. A nice jumping play from Nelson. We'll head to the top of the 8th. McMurry now down to their final 6 outs. Welcome back. Game 1 of the Super Regional here in San Antonio. Michael Smosna will lead things off for McMurry. Takes ball 1 inside. Smosna, a 440 hitter on the year, 1 for 2 today. Still facing Trajan Lee, who worked a nice inning the last time he was up. Now in line for the win, as Trinity has stormed back to take a 5-4 lead. Breaking ball, finds his own first strike.
And Smosna's got the power in the bat to tie us up with one swing. You got to handle him with care if you are Trajan Lee.
Tigers now up 5-4. The 1-1 to Smosna. Strike called, 87 out of the hand of Lee.
Lee has had some nice command on the mound thus far. He's been placing his pitches very well.
Now the 1-2. Tried the chase pitch. Smosna does not offer. 2-2. Talked earlier in the year about how important Trajan Lee was for setting the tone for this Tigers offseason, where they really worked hard at increasing velocity. Coaches routinely talking about how well they did in the weight room, and that's why you see so many guys throwing in the high 80s. Swing and a miss for Smosna. Second strikeout of the night for Trajan Lee, 1 down in the 8th.
Yeah, big moment for Trajan Lee, Cole. Runs it in on him, he swings through. I think Smosna will want that one back. Kind of goes, dang it, as he heads back to the dugout.
Nolan Schrenzel, the designated hitter, up. 1 for 3 today. Excuse me, 0 for 2. Ahead 1-0. Popped up. Is it playable? Drifting back. And it is. Lazara makes the catch. That was about as close as it gets to hitting the screen. Stays in foul ground. Lazara collects out number 2.
And he is hyped up about it. It's such a tough play as a catcher to go back and make that catch. You're popping up, you're tracking the ball while you're already in the crouching position. Yeah, excellent play for Lazara.
Now Beckham Paul. 2 down, nobody on. McMurray down 1. Strike called. I don't know what you think, Reed, but compared to the last time we saw Trajan Lee in that series against Southwestern, he looks like a different pitcher right now.
He really does. He's truly found his groove.
The 0-1. Foul tip into the glove of Lazaro, 0-2.
I don't know what happened between that, the SCAC tournament, and the regional, but he should keep doing it.
Had a stretch of starts where he didn't get to the 3rd inning. Trying to shut the door on McMurray. Paul thought about offering, but thinks better. Count 1-2. There is some action in the Tiger bullpen. 2 wills up for Trinity. The 2 that you would expect. Both Hellings and Taylor. But the way Trajan Lee's going, do you take him out at this point?
I don't really think so. I think keep going with him until he gets into some real trouble.
The 1-2. Not offering. Count even at 2-2.
Yeah, but that was a really good pitch, Cole. Had some great break. But Beckham Paul, he has been awesome this season at laying off pitches like that.
Ground ball on a couple of hops to Lustina. Throw to first is in time. Trajan Lee works a scoreless 8th as we head to the bottom of the frame. Trinity with the 5-4 lead, looking to add on. Welcome back to game one of the Super Regional. Bottom of the 8th inning, Trinity with the 5-4 lead. Jonathan Enriquez still on the mound for McMurry. Tinker hits one sky high to shallow center field. Carpenter ranges in and makes the catch quickly, one away.
I think this will be a night ultimately that Tinker will want to forget. Hasn't had much success at the plate tonight. That one another quick pop out. Well, maybe a deeper fly ball. However you want to score it. Either way, very quick.
Now Michael Lustina up to bat. Takes a pitch outside. Lustina 1 for 3, a base hit the last time he was up, a .275 hitter on the year, but he's came to play with the glove. A couple of nice defensive plays. He's been tested. Sends a chopper towards the Trinity dugout. This time it's Scannell coming out to make the play. Talking to the Trinity coaches before this game, they said there's going to be punches, there's going to be jabs. Strike called. Pitch from Enriquez. It's going to be important to battle back, and that is exactly what the Tigers have done tonight. Found themselves down 4-1 in this game, now up 5-4. High chopper, Hood trying to range in, barehanded throw, not going to be in time. Lustina beats it out, infield single.
Yeah, it's got to be endlessly frustrating for this Warhawks infield. The slowest chopper to third base. And Lustina, he's a quick guy, so he legs that out. Man, that's got to be a frustrating play.
John Ramsey up to the plate. Sacrifice bunt the last time he was up. He's flown out to left twice, but they've been pretty hard hit balls. Not something to complain about necessarily. Thinks about bunting, pulls it back. And it looks like that'll be an unfortunate foul ball as that rides in on him.
I think it hit the handle, like in between his hands too. So yeah, very unfortunate foul ball. Maybe better that hit that part instead of Ramsey himself.
He's going to call time to discuss this one, as it looks like this will be a meeting between everybody involved offensively for the Tigers. We've got Lustina, who's on first base, Caleb Woodward, who is waiting on deck, head coach Tim Scannell, first base coach Kyle Russa, and third base coach Joey Deering, and of course the batter John Ramsey. Looks like they know what they want to do. Trying to add on. We know how dangerous this Warhawks offense is. The 0-1 rides inside. Ramsey not offering to bunt this time. Takes the pitch for a ball, 1-1. Haven't seen really any Tigers going in motion yet. See if they change that. Another pitch rides inside, 2-1.
The Tigers are usually a fan of the good old hit and run, but not a lot of opportunities to do that tonight.
Have not had a lot of traffic, though it's come lately. Ramsey tries to bunt there, pulls it back. Count now 3-1. Talking to head coach Tim Scannell earlier in the year, says that every hit and run is a player-called one. They run a green light offense, they can do it whenever they want. We'll see if Ramsey decides to here. Pulls back the bunt for ball 4, and he's aboard. No sacrifice needed. Lustina will head to second.
And a relatively not a very competitive set of pitches from Enriquez. Pretty easy.
And that will be the day for Jonathan Enriquez. He exits this one. Trinity with the 5-4 lead. Runners on first and second.
Down by 3 runs. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. This time, they finish the job. Trinity. They are regional champs. They've punched their ticket to the Super Regionals. Final score, 7-4. The base is loaded. And Will Hellings able to get the Trinity Tigers out of the inning and win the game. ETBU won the first game, forced a second game, but Trinity comes back with 3 runs in the 10th to take the lead, and Will Hellings shuts down ETBU.
Welcome back as you get a good look at downtown San Antonio, Texas, a nice night skyline. Thankfully it is, as this game got moved back, and it's a lot cooler now because of it. Everybody involved deserving a shout out because of that, including TLU head coach Kyle Palmer, who's the site rep for this weekend series. Saw the final out for Trinity as they took down the ETBU Tigers in that regional to advance to the Super Regional.
Cardiac kids, Cole. Cardiac kids. It looked like ETBU might come back and tie things up, but no. It was Will Hellings that shut the door in that clip. I don't know if we'll see him tonight, but he struck out the side in that inning too, which was huge.
And had enough stamina left in his arm to toss his glove at the end. Wind really ripping from right to left has increased as the night has gone along. A new pitcher into the game for McMurry is Gabriel Aragon, senior from Fort Worth, Texas. ERA of 7.89, an opportunity to lower that. As he faces the top of the Trinity order, a tall task, trying to hold the deficit to 1. Caleb Woodward up to the plate. 1 down, 2 on for the Tigers. Woodward thinks about bunting, pulls it back, strike 1. Aragon would like to forget the last time he pitched here in this ballpark. Came in a situation to close out the game. His team up 5-2 and did not record an out, allowed 4 earned runs. Trinity came back to walk it off 6-5. Breaking ball misses away. 1-1.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Aragon too, because he had a good appearance against the Tigers in game 1 of that series. Yeah, that last game, that's the one that he's remembered for right now.
Trying to be remembered for this game. Trying to hold the deficit. Woodward inside out swing. Popped up, drifting into the Trinity bullpen, out of play. Go down as a looping strike, 1-2.
Of course, Woodward, as dangerous a bat as any in this Tiger lineup. Leadoff guy. He's been excellent all year at the top of this Tiger order. If he's not getting hits, he's drawing walks, which he's drawn 2 up tonight.
And a 1-2 count against Aragon. Runners on first and second. They try and get the runner at second, and they do. Lustina tagged out on the back pick, and exactly what the doctor ordered for the Warhawks.
I think a very genius play by McMurray there. I think Lustina, if he was going to get picked off, was expecting Beach to come in, but they sent Nelson instead, which I think fakes out Lustina, and he's just out in the middle of the open.
So now the situation completely changes. 1 down, only a runner at first. Woodward slaps it foul towards the Trinity dugout. Count still 1-2. At first and second, only 1 down in the inning. Now an opportunity for Aragon and McMurray to get out of the frame. 1-2 to Woodward. Foul ball again. These Tiger at-bats have looked better and better as the game has gone along.
Good thing we're not hosting track. I think that one ended up on the field.
1-2 again. Runner on first is Ramsey. Ground ball through the hole and right. Ramsey will stop at second, and there's first and second with 2 down.
Yeah, a lot of station to station tonight for the Tigers, Cole. They've been getting some solid hits on the right field. They just haven't been very deep. We'll see if the man up at the plate can get an extra base knock and bring another runner home.
Maddox McDonald 2 for 4 today. 357 hitter on the year. Base hit the last time he was up. He's also homered. Strike called. 70 out of the hand of Aragon. The 0-1. Outside 1-1. There is still some action for Trinity. Some debate whether Trajan Lee will come back into this game or not, but Will Hellings is ready. One pitch. Ground ball to second. Nelson makes the throw in time as we'll head to the 9th inning in game 1 of this Super Regional. Trinity with the 5-4 lead. And Will Hellings looks like will come in to shut the door. Welcome back to a windy San Antonio, Texas. It is Trajan Lee staying on the mound, trying to collect the final 3 outs of game 1. Trinity with the 5-4 lead. Number 8 hitter Blake Beach coming up to the plate. Hits one in the air to left. Nick Jones makes the catch, 1 away.
First pitch, first swing, first out, Cole. Exactly what the Tigers want. Goes a bit into a dangerous spot. Maybe the Tigers don't want that, but it's caught safely.
McMurry now down to its final 2 outs. Still only down 1 run. Xavier Escobar, 1 for 3. Hitting .328 on the year. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. McMurry was up 4-1 in this game. Tigers battled back, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th to take a 5-4 lead. Strike 2. 88 from Lee. Hit off the end of the bat, onto the roof of the Bell Center, out of play. We'll do the 0-2 pitch again. Escobar trying to reach for McMurray, down a run. 1 down in the 9th. Just misses. Does Does not get the call on that outside part of the plate. Count 1-2.
That's a good placement and a great idea from Lee. Just unable to touch the zone.
Pitch high, 2-2, count even.
Good job from Escobar to work his way back into an even count. He doesn't walk a lot. If you did here, it'd be pretty big for the Warhawks.
Trying to get the tying run on. That's strike 3, gets him looking. 89 from Lee, 2 down in the 9th.
Got him in that low part of the zone right there. See, the pitch just sends gas at the knees.
The lineup will flip over. Coy Carpenter up to the plate. 1 for 3 today. He's also walked. McMurray's last hope. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Tapped foul. 0-2. Warhawks down to their last strike. Lee trying to lock down game 1. Foul ball will do it again.
Call right now, this is a great atmosphere for this Super Regional Game 1. A lot of people on their feet right now.
Large crowd on both sides. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. And the Trinity Tigers are 1 win away from the College World Series.
His last pitch from Trajan Lee. An amazing breaking ball. Gets him swinging. You can see the hype on Trajan Lee's face. This has been a long time coming from him. After a stretch of tough starts, he gets maybe the biggest win of the season so far for himself. Tigers 1 win away from the College World Series. The second time this decade that they'd make it if they do win. They just shut down this McMurry batting order after the 4th inning.
It was a shaky start for the Tigers, who found themselves down 2-0 in the second. 2 unearned runs, 3 errors in the same inning. Warhawks were up 4-1, but this team kept fighting. And now they're 1 win away from their second College World Series appearance in 4 years. Trajan Lee gets the win. He also shuts the door and finishes the game. Talking to him earlier in the year, said his favorite memory in his 4 years here at Trinity, or excuse me, 3 years, was closing out the game against Babson, where they came back down 9 runs in the 8th inning. And you wonder if this would be one that could potentially match it.
This one might be a bit sweeter, Cole. But a lot of work from these Tigers to come back from that deficit, maybe a bit of a self-induced deficit early on. But 2 big home runs from McDonald and Nelson. It really got the hype going for the Tigers from then on out. They started looking better at the plate. They started being more patient. I mean, Hunter Poe, he was good on the mound, but he was only throwing 60% of his balls for strikes. So once they started being more patient with them, they had a lot more success.
Trajan Lee gets the win in tonight's game. Enriquez gets the loss for McMurray, who will look to respond, and they will need to win 2 games tomorrow to advance to the College World Series and take out the Tigers. Well, that's it for us in San Antonio. I'd like to thank everybody who was a part of our crew tonight. Camera people, people in the control room, and of course our executive producer, Josh Machagemba, and my partner, Reed Rosales, who just called his 200th game for Tiger Network. Definitely an achievement and a record that I do not think will be broken anytime soon. For all of those people, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow for Game 2 and potentially Game 3. Tigers a chance to advance to the College World Series.